Hi, welcome to Wednesday. These letters today are all from out of the United States. I guess I didn't realize I had so many of them, so I thought maybe I should do some of these too. Before I forget though, this Sunday, the 8th of August, is the new moon. And it is at 9:50 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is very easy to do anytime after midnight, but before 9:50 a.m. Make sure you do it in your time zone. And I mean, 5 minutes, it's worth it. Okie dokie. This one is from Sven from Norway. I'm a married Catholic living in Norway. We are living in an old house, 1913, that was occupied by the Germans during World War II. Recently, a clear sight person told us that the Nazis killed several of their own soldiers plus Norwegians and buried them in our basement. One part of the basement room is awful and has a very dark feeling. Not far from us is a large stone from the Viking times where the pagans sacrificed animals and people according to this clear sight person. Clear sight person must mean a medium. I've never heard him referred to as that, but that's what I'm thinking. Once I had a very strong feeling of somebody who was very close to me in our living room. Our children have been harassed by nightmares, a doll speaking, steps in the house. We still hear noises and shadows. Are you able to locate the spirits in our house and tell us what's going on? No, unfortunately, Sven, I cannot do that. Everything that you're describing, though, however, absolutely sounds like it could be going on. It's amazing that there's a doll that's actually speaking. Um, the thing that I have found, and let me use the towers from 9/11. Everybody thinks because all those people died on that spot that there's horrible ghosts running around there and everybody's negative and crabby and cranky and bad. It's very peaceful there after they've done the memorial. And so, no, and I'm going to say that all the bad stuff that happened in this house, that doesn't necessarily mean that the people that were murdered or killed there, uh, are still hanging out there. So the only thing I could recommend is still having the house blessed by an ordained priest or minister and just keep smudging. It is so important to smudge and smudge correctly. Every room in the house, every closet, the basement, that creepy room in the basement you don't like. You have to do every space. That's the only way. And if you're very persistent about doing it, then eventually they will leave. Okay, this one is from Christina in Sweden. I wanted to ask you if you ever experienced that a person who died can influence someone's humor or thoughts. I mean, if someone is fighting so the spirits can influence you. I'm so impressed that these people in foreign countries have this English so really so down so good. If someone is fighting, do the spirits make them more angry? I'm asking you this because I noticed that when my husband and I are fighting, it looks like he changes completely. He's very aggressive, never physical to me, but the way he talks and looks at me, I'm almost sure that someone is, or golly, I'm almost sure that someone, and spiritualists we call obsessing him. I think she means possessing him. Maybe someone doesn't like him, doesn't like me. I don't know. I know that, yeah, we would have so much work for you if you would come to Sweden. Heck, I can't get out of Ohio right now. And is there anything you can tell me? When an earthbound spirit is in a house, it can absolutely affect how people react or think. Yes, make people angry, depressed, and I've said many times I do more houses with divorce because of spirits than anything else. Yes, yes, yes. And you've got, this is going to be the same theme for all of these. Get an ordained priest or minister in to bless the house and start smudging. That's going to be the best thing that you can do, Christina. And just smudging, you will see a difference. This one is from Karen from Papakura, New Zealand. I recently moved back to New Zealand from the UK whilst, oh golly, that's a word I've never heard. Whilst living in England, I had experienced strange feelings while sleeping or half sleeping. I have been back home now for 5 months, and I'm 6.5 months pregnant, and until now hadn't had any of these odd experiences. It's sort of a feeling of being kinda asleep. I'm aware of wanting to wake up and can sometimes make moaning noises trying to call out. I try to open my eyes and move myself, then a feeling of danger like someone or something is after me. Sometimes it's more distressing than others, but it is quite frightening. Sometimes when I manage to wake myself up, it feels like something is slamming on my chest. Also, recently I had just nodded off and I felt a whoosh of energy across my face and down to my ear. I often lose hearing temporarily in one of my ears, and once have seen a transparent, tribal looking man with not many clothes on sitting on the end of my bed, and that definitely woke me up. Can you possibly tell me what is going on? I'm afraid that these experiences could harm my baby boy. Karen, I think you almost have two things going on here. It sounds to me like on occasion you do have uh, an earthbound spirit there, and from the man that you saw, the tribal looking man, an aborigine is, you know, maybe, and they may also, believe it or not, have somebody that is like a spiritual person in their group that may be able to help you, or getting a priest in there and blessing the place. But I think what else you've got going on, it almost sounds like you've got visits from aliens. The business where you can't move. That is a very typical a complaint when aliens are around. So I think you may have that going on. I try smudging and see if that makes doesn't make things better, but I there's really nothing that I can tell you about the aliens. This one is from Joan in Beebington, England, and it's near Liverpool. Um, for the last 15 years, I have suffered from what was diagnosed as ME, otherwise known as chronic fatigue syndrome. I always feel more fatigued at home. Recently, I have felt as though there were spirits in my house and began taking photographs with my iPhone. Orbs are clearly visible on the pictures and can be seen dashing across the screen before the picture is taken. That is very typical with phones. and they catch orbs really, really easily. And that's, again, not unusual. Check your orbs out. If there's a design in the middle, that means it's somebody that's visiting from the other side. If it's blank, it's uh, just a dust particle. I also think a figure of a man is able to be seen in one of these pictures. And that's exactly what I was saying. If you can enlarge that orb, you may see his face clearly or a side profile of them. I often feel, well, most of the time, jaded and or dizzy, kind of lightheaded as though I'm not really there. I argue a lot with my hubby lately, and I'm wondering whether there is more to this happening, especially since I read When Ghosts Speak. Yes, it sounds to me like you could absolutely have an earthbound spirit in your house. And if you are on any meds for your ME, then they're not working as well as they could because of the ghost that you have in the house. So definitely smudge, get a priest in there, and see if that doesn't make a big difference. This one is from Sasha uh, in Italy. She lives outside of Rome. First, I know that this probably will not sound strange to you. I've got that right. I have had weird things happen to me my entire life. I have seen and heard things. At times it is just a feeling of presence, but at the same time, I was very lucky up until last year in that I never had a negative encounter, but since then I have tried to avoid all potential areas where I've seen or heard things in the past. My question, since I never had negative encounters before, do spirits normally target one person out, or when the spirit knows for a fact that it has been seen by another person? Sometimes earthbound spirits are attached to a person in the house. Came home with them from work, uh, and it's like that's their person. If they're in the living room, the spirit will be in the living room. If they're in the bedroom, the spirit will be in the bedroom with them. But it can affect everybody in the house, but mostly the person that they are attached to. Um, I never used a Ouija board, and I was wondering if I should start using a Ouija board to contact this person and see what it is that they want. No, 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 no. Bad, 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 bad idea. Do not use a Ouija board. Absolutely not. I mean, you're so close to Rome. I mean, obviously the Pope isn't going to come in and bless your house. But how about getting a priest in there to bless your house? Or, definitely an ordained religious person for sure. And seriously, start smudging. But the idea of a Ouija board trying to talk to these people, that would be a huge mistake. All you're going to do is make it worse. So do not do that. This one is from Siobhan in Ireland. Marianne, I have more than once felt something sitting down on the edge of the bed behind me when I sleep. At first, I thought it was our cat, only to find nothing there, and my husband also has lots of medical issues. Let me cut to the chase. Can earthbound animals give off negative energy? Let's stop here. You know, a 10-pound cat, a 4-pound puppy, not so much where they're going to take your energy, but definitely if you have a large pet, something over 35, 40, 50 pounds, they and it's earthbound, they can take energy from you. But this is where she's coming with the animals. Our last cat had met with an awful death. He went missing for 3 months. The neighbor 2 houses down had gone out behind her shed and had found our cat hanging by his leg. He must have gotten caught when he tried to jump down and it got hooked up in the fence. There were claw marks around that he had made trying to get out, but he still died. Current. We took in a rescued cat, and she has never been able to sit on our laps when we hold her. I don't know if it may have something to do with the previous owners totally declawing her front and back, but sometimes she can be very boisterous towards almost annoying. She is very edgy. I was just wondering if our cat, Blackie, was still hanging around. Yes, I'm going to guess that it is your dead pet cat. And he's probably very jealous when the new cat sits on you. And he may tease her unmercifully when she's there, when he's there, that he doesn't like the idea that she's taken his place. Smudge, you got to get rid of him. And by the way, having a cat declawed all the way around is definitely not going to make her act like that. So no, that's not true. But I would definitely smudge, because that's probably exactly what's wrong, is that he's jealous of the new cat. And this is the last one. This girl is named Bettina. She's from Milan, Italy. My question is, all my years I've wondered if my next door neighbor has put a jinx on me. I'm 42 years old. I'm calling it a jinx because I don't think most people know what the Maloik is. And I've had things happen to me, but now I feel something is getting worse. I see shadows or figures that scare me so bad. I think my house is haunted. Please help. I have tried to have a priest remove curses. I've had a priest bless me. I've had a priest bless the house. Years ago, I was living in my husband's apartment with his parents, and I knew that was haunted. And we took photos, and it was on this occasion that I saw a spirit standing behind my mother-in-law in the picture. It was all white. You're very lucky to have this gift. Please come to Italy or tell me what to do. If you came to Italy, you could stay with me. You could stay with me for a year if you wanted to. A lot of people would like you to come to their houses. Okay, the Maloik. You can absolutely get When Ghosts Speak. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it in libraries. It is in Italian. It was published in Italian, so you can find this book. The last chapter tells you how to get rid of negative energy. Do that. Get the book and have somebody do that little ceremony on you. And that will take care of that. And as far as your mother-in-law's house goes, what was behind her, I really don't know. But this will take care of the negative energy. And, on occasion, I think every house has spirits that come in and out. But a lot of them just are nosy, come through, and they don't stay. But seeing that you had the priest come, that's good. And you know what? People years ago had the priest come the beginning in January every year to bless the house for the year. Doing it once in 10 years doesn't count. You've got to do it more often than that. Okie doke. This is it for today, and I will see you next Wednesday. Have a great week.